resolution of the City Council of the City of Hemet, California, approving a media access policy for disaster areas. Staff, may I have a report on this item?
Yes, Mayor. Stephen Graham, your city attorney. I will be presenting the policy, the media access policy for disaster areas. The city currently does not have in place a written policy regarding media access to disaster areas. Under general constitutional principles and also under California state law, the city is obligated to allow media access to certain disaster areas with specified limitations. Those limitations could include when the media's presence would actually cause a health and safety hazard, either to people who are being evacuated, or first responder personnel. One of the other exceptions is when we have a potential action crime scene. This policy came about because we recently had a fire incident near Stony Mountain. We had suspected arson involving that incident, and we had an individual who identified himself as a member of the media. He did not have any credentials issued either by a press agency, by another jurisdiction, certainly not by the city because we don't issue those yet. And the city staff had a challenge with whether or not that individual should be permitted into the disaster area. A principal concern at the time was that it was also being viewed as an active crime scene because of the suspected arson. So one of the things that we always try to do is, when you have an incident that comes up, we always want to be better. We want to have a clear, well thought out policy. The one you have in front of you is a draft that attempts to balance the city's legal obligations, statutory law, with its constitutional principles, including the First Amendment, operation of the free press, with the practical realities of having individuals in disaster areas during ongoing disasters, which pose a health and safety threat not only to those individuals, but to members of the public that have evacuated, safety personnel who may have to go and rescue them when there's wrong, as well as potential for interference if we did have an ongoing investigation. So we attempted to be very thoughtful and balance those issues. We did receive I think, well-intentioned letter from a member of the Los Angeles Press Club criticizing the policy. I reviewed that email. I unfortunately did not have an opportunity to talk with that individual. They called City Hall in office hours. And so this is not an urgent matter. We do need this policy in place tonight to answer questions the council was asking in previous context. So my recommendation has changed from adopting the policy tonight to having a discussion with the council to hear what the council's concerns are regarding these incidents. Any member of the public, we didn't have public comment on this particular item, but then also to continue the item for such time. I'd like to reach out to the Los Angeles Press Club. I do think that press access is very valuable because that's how we get word out to the public that there is an incident going on. I don't think the city has any desire to suppress the legitimate actions of the press. I think we're looking at this primarily from a safety standpoint and from a preservation of evidence if we transaction crime scene. So I'd like to hear what their concerns are and see if we can address them. One of the things that we added, and you'll notice is a little bit of a work in progress. If you look at section 5G on page 603 of your packet, you'll see recognition of other agencies, and then it says insert. This is one of our potential, perhaps, responses to the concern that's being raised by the Los Angeles Press Club, which is, I think it's reasonable to say that it might be a burden on a member of the press operating out of LA to go through the credentialing process here in Hemet on the off chance that we may have a disaster worth covering in this meeting, right? And so one of our thoughts was we would be willing to accept the credentials issued by any other public agency in Riverside County, or perhaps even further afield, to sort of have the ability of them to go through a process maybe closer to home, and maybe have a credential that can be useful in a wider context. So that's the report, and again, the recommendation is to continue this item until such time as we have an opportunity to at least have that conversation and see if there are changes that would allay their concerns, because I do believe those concerns. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I understand the legal officer's concerns. We have all these wannabe news agencies or groups that want to be on site when something happens, and then a lot of times they give misleading information, like the fires we had over here by Seven Hills. You know, they stated that all Seven Hills has been evacuated, scared the people of Seven Hills, and they thought, oh my God, no one told me. And they're calling me on my phone, on my city phone, and saying, what's going on? I go, no, we're not being evacuated. Just the housing along the ridge line right there where the fire is, they have been asked to leave just in case, but not Seven Hills itself. So I understand what we're wanting here. We want legitimate news with people. I mean, these guys fight amongst each other out in the street out there, and they videotape it and put it on Facebook and all the other sites, you know, and they just want our police. We just want legitimate people out there doing the job instead of just anybody, and they have the chance of going.
And Councilor, I think that kind of gets to a little bit of the crux of the matter. Under California law, under the First Amendment, the press certainly has a right to operate. There are some limits on that. We have to balance that against other issues. And one of the things that, with social media, the recent explosion in influencers and things like that is, looking towards, you don't have the news van with the big logo on the side anymore. You can be reasonably confident that a professional organization, they're adhering to certain standard of journalistic ethics. They have training. They know how to keep themselves safe. You can't rely on that anymore. We have to be very hesitant about coming from a direction where we're attempting to impose a content-based restriction on how the news is being reported, right? We can't limit the access to the media conditioned upon them reporting what we tell them to report, right? It's important that they have that ability to put their message out. But I think you're right, and that is, there certainly is an additional consideration in the city's mind that when we're having reporting done on a disaster, this is a situation where seconds count, minutes count. It's important that people get accurate information, that we are not facilitating the spread of misinformation during a critical time like that. So that may be something that we bring up with the press club, see what their thoughts are on it. I'm sure they're going to be very zealous about protecting journalists' right to report as they see fit. But I think that there should be a recognition of our concern and see if there's a way to
So if someone has a phone that says, well, I'm a journalist, that's it? Should they have credentials and people?
Well, and I think that's what we're trying to balance here. We do recognize the valuable role of the media in this, and we do recognize the changing times here. However, this is not a free-for-all. We don't need looky-loos. We don't need people who are untrained. We don't need people who are going to be dangerous to themselves or others.
That's what it's become, and that's why they want to put
And I think that's why we want to have that
some
conversation.
restrictions on it.
And so I think it would be valuable. We have been approached by this organization. They're a legitimate, bona fide organization. They represent valuable interests. I think that it is valuable to have that exchange of views with them and see if there is a way
comments, questions?
Yeah, there were two, at least I received two, communications on this.
I received one.
One from Mr. Rosenberg and one from Adam, nope, take that back, yeah, Rosenberg with the media access policy or media alliance, and then the one from Los Angeles.
Okay, well, I think I'll take, if that, the second, so I got the one from the LA press. I did not get the other one. If you could send that to me, of course, I'd be happy to reach out to that group as well.
The second one came off city website, City of Hemet, so the city clerk can send it to you. I believe.
Okay, so maybe this was a written comment that was filed?
Right.
Okay, then, we will certainly reach out to that group as well, because I do think that it's valuable to get that input.
I think it is too, but I do have a question. When you mentioned credentialed news media, is news media personnel required to wear a credentialed badge when they go to a disaster area?
So, under the policy that we are looking at here, we are issuing the identification card, and they would have to present it in order to cross the lines. But we could add a requirement that it needs to be visible at all times as well. I don't think we have that specific language in there.
Well, what I'm getting at is that from the major newspapers and the major TV channels, do their people wear credentialed passes? I mean, when you go someplace, I always see people with press pass.
I think it depends on the organization. I think that there are a lot of organizations that do that. And again, the world's changing, right? We used to have these sort of organizations and understandings you could rely on a press pass issued by the LA Times. You know this person's trained, and it's going to be okay. I think we're trying to roll with the times. We have a lot of freelance journalists, especially in the Inland Empire.
At least they call themselves journalists.
Yes, and there are a lot who they engage in, for example, video journalism, where they go out, they take video footage, they then sell it or provide that to television media in the local LA market. They're not going to send the news van out for something necessarily, but if they get the video, they'll run a story on it. And so, freelance and independent journalists are covered under the existing policy. Maybe that's something that we need to discuss with our media partners. But I think to your point, maybe Councilmember Mail's point, there's a line here at which, I think that the city could reasonably say, you're not a member of the media. And so I think that's where we want to get the policy at, and I think that we can have that conversation.
I think that's a really good idea.
And that would be not recognized by the city of Hemet as a.
And again, this is only for disaster areas.
Yeah.
So, cities fair game, right?
Right.
99.9% of the time. We're talking about when we are having a major incident. We have a hill on fire. We have residents who are trying to evacuate. We have firefighters from our organization, from other organizations, who are trying to battle the fire, keep people safe, not introduce new people into the situation who are going to potentially need to be rescued. And so, we are talking about a very limited, use this phrase, very specific time, place, manner restriction, because, frankly, the situation warrants it. We have to be cognizant of the constitutional principles. We have to be cognizant of, there is state law on this point that we want to make sure that we are following. And so we just have to balance it.
Just a general media pool area.
That's one of the things that we do include in the policy is that, in certain circumstances, it's appropriate to either have a media staging area, so an area where the media can go and report on the newsworthy events, but where they are safe, they are not interfering in rescue operations, interfering in evacuations, and then in other circumstances when having too many individuals in an area works is the journalists who are there agree amongst themselves who will go, and then that person who is designated shares their information with everyone else. And that's the primary methodology. We let them choose amongst themselves who's going to go. If they cannot agree, then the city picks. And then under the requirement that that individual share footage, photographs, information with all the other outlets.
Should we move that shirt?
Really accessible.
Anyone else have any comments, questions? Can I have a motion on this item?
To continue it?
And that item would be to continue to a date uncertain to give me an opportunity to meet with these two groups.
I'll make a motion to continue this to a date uncertain.
I'll second that.
City Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a motion by Councilmember Krupa, second by Councilmember Lodge. We're gonna do a roll call. Councilmember Krupa,
Yes?
Councilmember Lodge,
Yes.
Councilmember Mails,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Kendrick,
Yes.
Mayor Peterson.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.